My name is Annika Klein. I'm a sophomore at the College of Idaho and a double major in business and psychology. Psychology is my passion and business is just a good skill set to have. I work for health and welfare as a community support worker. For a couple of years now, I've guided and taken care of a young lady my age, and she has grown to be one of my best friends. Over the past few summers, I've spent my time traveling around the U.S. to various music festivals and concerts with people I'm privileged to call my best friends. I have some of the quirkiest, funniest, and loving people in my life. With them, there is never a dull day. With all of this in mind, none of these facts would hold true if my suicide attempt had been successful. My junior year of high school, I found myself with such a dark tunnel vision that I had convinced myself I was no longer worth staying alive. Not only for myself, but for others. That evening, I did not keep in mind the people I had yet to meet, the places I had yet to go, the music I had yet to listen to, the people I had yet to help, and just all of the experiences I had yet to go through in general. I was rushed to the ER where I had to be closely monitored through the night. The doctors wished to transfer me to an inpatient psychiatric ward, but there were no openings at any of the places in Idaho. It would be about a week before a bed was available for me. That was a very long and exhausting week, not just for me, but for my family and everyone making an effort to keep me safe and eventually mentally stable. I had someone with me 24/7. My mother would sleep next to me at night and would wake with fear at the slightest sound. All medications in the house had been locked away and hidden, same with guns, belts, you name it. The thing that helped me the most was my counselor and my psychiatrist. I was seeing my counselor once, sometimes twice a day. My psychiatrist changed my medication and we decided to meet once a week. By the time the bed opened up, I felt I didn't need it. I felt loved and I felt worthy. It's not that I wasn't loved and worthy before, I just had gotten so caught up in my head that I couldn't see it. Looking back, I've taken away a lot of lessons and realizations from that experience. I am very privileged to have the hands-on family that I do, and to have access to the resources that I do. I am very privileged to be able to see a psychiatrist to get medication and a proper diagnosis. I am very privileged to see a counselor for guidance concerning my life and feelings. I am so lucky to happen to have people in my life who know how to recognize warning signs for someone who is suicidal. I guarantee without these things I would not be alive. So now my question is this. What about the children who slip under the radar and aren't as lucky as me? Children who suffer in silence. Children who are surrounded by family and friends who love them very much, but aren't educated on how to recognize the signs of someone who is struggling with suicidal thoughts. What about children from lower income families who don't have the luxury of getting proper help? The thing that breaks my heart is that mental health resources are even seen as a luxury in the first place. They are a necessity. I will not continue to stand by and watch children and teens die a preventable death simply because they couldn't afford professional resources that would help them find their will to live, or because our society continues to perpetuate a negative stigma concerning mental health. So where do we start? What can we do to stop this? I have several propositions. First, get educated and educate others. It's not that people don't want to help those suffering, but more that they don't know how to help or even be able to recognize if someone needs help in the first place. We are making progress with this. Recently, the Jason Flatt Act just got passed in Idaho, which will require staff and faculty in schools to take suicide prevention training classes. This is a huge victory in this uphill battle, but why stop at schools? The more knowledgeable people are concerning this, the more likely a life will be saved. I urge you to do some research, some mental health homework. You never know whose life you may save down the line. Second, do not be scared to reach out to someone if you suspect they are suicidal. Many suicidal youths don't reach out for help out of fear of being judged. And many folks don't reach out to people they believe are suicidal because they don't want to offend them if they are not. It is much better to ask someone if they are suicidal and risk possibly offending them than not asking and having them possibly get worse and continue to suffer in silence. If you express concern and worry, regardless if they are actually suicidal or not, they will feel like their emotions are validated and they will know someone cares and is looking out for them. Last but not least, support the organizations and institutions that can provide these crucial resources to those who desperately need them. Without my counselor, I wouldn't be alive right now. I would have cheated myself of the greatest gifts life has to offer, love and friendship. Specifically, the children's home is very special. Not only is it where my counseling journey began, but they provide care to at-risk children and families, children who otherwise would not receive the nourishment and attention that they need. It's a diamond in the rough to have a mental health center that is a nonprofit organization, and it is our responsibility to help it flourish, grow, and keep doing what it's doing. Tonight, our ultimate goal is not to just raise money, but to save and better lives. Thank you.